Yo, what's up everyone, and welcome to episode 48 of Crime in Court USA. I'm recording this on January 10th, 2024. That's right, baby. New year, same show, new me. Just kidding. Same old me. We ain't gonna change, am I right? Going into the new year strong, baby. Been gone for a while, back from the dead, you know what I mean? Feels good to be back though. Lots happened since I last spoke with y'all. I'm just gonna get into it, right? Let's talk about Donald Trump. This is Trump in Court USA, as we all know. You know what? I was just thinking about this today before I even get into that. I know I was kind of like complaining about him always kind of being in the news or in like crossing into my realm of court and, you know, crime and all that kind of stuff. And I have to cover him, right? Because he's a former president. But I was thinking about it. I'm like, this is kind of a jackpot, right? I mean, like a nerd like me who loves checking out court proceedings and things like that, watching a former president and possibly the next president go through all this stuff, actually pretty interesting, right? So I'm going to eat while I can. We're going to talk about this kind of stuff while I can. So anyways, let's backtrack a little to a couple weeks ago where the Colorado Supreme Court decided that he cannot run for president or be on the ballot for president because he committed insurrection against the United States during the Capitol riot. He kind of set that whole thing off. They found that he was ineligible to be on the ballot. However, that is going to be heard by the Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court. So they might reverse that call. They seem to kind of rule in his favor, or I assume they would if I'm being totally judgmental myself right now. I assume they might rule in his favor. Maybe not. Maybe they have no legal recourse to it. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe they will completely agree that he did commit insurrection. But that would have been, well, this is interesting because this might hurt his chance of becoming the Republican candidate, because he is the front runner right now. The dude is still not going to debates or anything, and he's still the front runner. He's like, I didn't even have to show up for those things, and I'll still smoke, y'all. But this would hurt his chances, and Colorado is not the only state that might do this. I believe Maine is another state that might look into kicking him off the ballot. So his chances might hurt as far as being this kind of stuff might hurt his chances of being the Republican nominee. So we'll see. Although if the Supreme Court makes a ruling on it, then no state can kick him off the ballot, at least for this reason. Maybe another lawsuit or something will be filed to kick him off at some point. Probably will in some state, but who knows? For now, he's being challenged on the ballot. But Supreme Court, I don't know if they gave a timetable for when they'll hear it, but it'll be soon-ish. So that was like the first thing that happened. Then earlier this last week, when was it? Was it Monday? What's today? Wednesday? Yeah, I think it was Monday or Tuesday. This was in his trial, his criminal trial for committing insurrection. He took it to the Court of Appeals, arguing that he can't be prosecuted in that case because he has presidential immunity, basically, because he was the president at the time of that. From what the press is saying, from the news coverage that I read about that, they all said that, or most of them said that the judges, the 3-judge panel that heard the case, was, quote, skeptical about his claims of immunity. Yeah, you know what, guys? Let's just call it what it is. It's a Hail Mary. I've seen a lot of Hail Marys in my days, all right? It happens. You got to do what you got to do. Your lawyer, you know, you're paying him a lot of money. You're paying him money to throw these Hail Marys, basically. So this one's probably not going to work. I don't think being president makes you above the law. It makes it tricky to prosecute you, no doubt. I mean, look how tricky all these prosecutions are now. I mean, this is very touchy, right? This guy might be the next president. There's a good shot of that. And this kind of stuff only seems to help him, like being charged criminally and all that. I mean, he turned his mugshot into to campaign material, so you never know. All right, so that's probably not going to work out. I don't know. Court of Appeals, they usually take a while to come up with their opinions too, so this might not come out for a while. So we'll keep an eye on that, no doubt. And then today, on Wednesday, the news in his New York civil trial, he tried to make the closing arguments in that case. He's not going to after all. But just the thought of him doing that is so funny. Just him, because I don't know if you guys know. Basically, closing arguments are when the lawyers or the two sides, they make their closing arguments in the case. That's their last attempt at getting the jury to go their way. So I would love to just see Trump just talking directly to a jury, just being like, "Come on, come on." I can't do a Trump impression, but yeah, that's basically what he would have done. And I don't know, I just think it would have been so funny just to watch like him specifically, because he's such a character, try to convince that jury that he didn't commit any wrongdoing in that case. Hello, Future Mundo here. I'm an idiot. I forgot that this was a bench trial, so he wouldn't be convincing a jury that of his innocence or whatever, or of his denial of wrongdoing. He'd be convincing a judge. And the judge was actually concerned that he'd be doing a political speech, so he barred him from, basically doing that and just sticking to the facts of the case, just like any lawyer would, who'd be making closing arguments. But anyway, just thought I'd jump in and correct myself. Still, the thought of him getting up there and making a political speech is kind of funny. He'd probably attack the judge. He was barred from doing that specifically as well. So, yeah. Anyways, thanks. That case was him falsifying business records to get better loans and so forth in New York State. So he won't be doing that. So that's the latest on Mr. Trump. He also had a town hall meeting tonight on Fox News, or was it last night? I'm sorry, I'm all over the place this week, guys, with this guy. But it was last night. I'm sorry. It was a debate between Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis, and the same night Trump held a town hall. So yeah, he's not sweating it. He's just not sweating it, man. He has nothing to worry about. Really, he doesn't have to go to the debates, and he's still the front runner. So there you go. The only thing that may take him off the ballot is actually the states taking him off the ballot, which would be interesting. But there would be hell to pay for that, probably. They already ran up on the Capitol. You know what I mean? Who knows what else they'll do? What the fuck? Anyhow, so I'm just rambling about that at this point. We're probably gonna talk about this guy next time. Whatever. Anyway, so I know this is Crime in Court USA, and I normally cover crime in court, but I feel like under this kind of beat, public safety usually falls under that as well. So I've been reading up on this Boeing thing where a door plug, I guess, fell out of a plane on an Alaska Airlines flight over Portland or near Portland, so they had to make an emergency landing. And luckily no one was hurt, which is crazy, because if you see the photos of it, there's just a hole in the side of the plane. There's seats right there. How no one got sucked out of the plane is incredible. I saw one story where an expert said that if it happened at some point later in the flight, that it could have been absolutely catastrophic. So a bunch of Boeing planes were grounded as the Federal Aviation Administration sees what's going on here, and then United Airlines found a bunch of their Boeing planes with loose bolts. So that wasn't good. So they grounded a bunch of planes. So yeah, not good. Not a good look for Boeing, and it's not a good look for air travel in general recently. Feels like it's just, well, obviously flying is very dangerous, right? No doubt. I guess it's relatively safe when you consider all the hundreds, if not thousands, of flights that take place every day without incident. But when something goes even slightly wrong, it can go horribly wrong, right? Actually, in fact, a couple of years ago in 2018, I believe, an Albuquerque resident, a well-known Albuquerque resident, she's very involved in this city. Her name was Jennifer Reardon. She actually died in a freak accident on a plane. She actually got sucked out of the window, like the window broke, and she got sucked out of it, which is just horrible to even think about. So, yeah, that happened. Just want to bring that up. Lauren Boebert, speaking of Colorado, again, U.S. Congressman Lauren Boebert, God, that's kind of a tongue twister. Lauren Boebert. She is accused of domestic violence by her ex-husband. Back in her home district, I think the police got a call saying that she hit him. So, I don't know. She's always kind of in the news somehow, acting inappropriately. So I just thought I'd bring that up. She's also kind of fun to cover in a way too. She's always doing something silly, going to Beetlejuice and acting a fool at Beetlejuice. Of course, she would go to Beetlejuice, right? Like her camp released a statement after that whole thing, saying that like, yeah, she likes the performing arts or whatever. But it's like, okay, yeah, but it's also Beetlejuice, you know. Oh, what am I even talking about anymore, guys? You know what? I think I'm gonna get out of here. I appreciate you so much for listening. Thank you to the Patreon supporters, Daniel, Tony, Andres, and Emily. I really love you guys. All right, guys. Until next time, my name's Mundo, and I'm out. Peace.